When I got home that evening, there was a letter waiting for me. Andrea had left it for me in the one spot she knew I wouldn't miss, a beer bottle in the fridge, with the note taped right to it. I did what anyone would do, grabbed the cold beer, peeled off the letter, popped the top, and made my way into the living room. I wanted to settle into my easy chair and find out what she had to say. The letter began simply, "Oh, baby," she wrote, "I can't tell you how embarrassed I am to be writing this, and I hope you won't be too angry with me. This has been building up for a while now, I guess. You leave before sunrise every day, come home late at night, and I spend my days just sitting around with nothing to do but watch TV. You've always done your part, working hard, keeping us afloat, making sure I have everything I need. But lately, I guess I've just been feeling restless. I miss having you around. I know you have to work, but it gets lonely, and I end up feeling a little lost. You come home exhausted. You drink a beer, watch a little TV, and then head to bed, so tired you fall asleep right away. I watch you, sometimes reach out for you, and I wish things could be like they were back when we first got married. Do you remember those days? The way you'd hold me close, the way you couldn't get enough of me, the passion we shared. I remember how alive it made me feel, how close we were, the way you'd make me feel loved and wanted. I miss that feeling of being wrapped up in your arms, the laughter, the closeness, all the little things. What changed? When did we stop being that way together? Why did I end up feeling so alone that I started looking for comfort elsewhere? I never wanted things to turn out this way. I never meant to let my loneliness push me to make such a big mistake. I never planned to be unfaithful to you, and now the guilt is eating at me. I can hardly believe I'm writing this, but somehow I know I have to tell you. You've given me so much, but you've also been absent in other ways. If you had been around more, I don't think any of this would have happened. But you weren't, and it did. And now, honestly, I just don't know what to do. I took a long drink from my beer, struggling to imagine Andrea with someone else. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't quite picture it. Andrea has always been a joy to be around. She's petite, standing about 5 feet 2 inches, with a figure that's just right for her size. I remember how easy it was to scoop her up in my arms, her long brown hair cascading over my shoulders as I carried her to the bedroom. She was my little spark, my partner for all those wild, passionate nights we once shared. But like she said, that was a while ago. I tried to remember the last time we'd really been together, the last time desire hit me hard as soon as I walked through the door. Honestly, I couldn't put a date on it. It felt like ages. I recalled a night not so long ago, when I came home to find her in the kitchen, setting out dinner. She was dressed in a black lace bra and a pair of blue jeans that hugged her curves just right. She was right about one thing: when the mood struck, I didn't hold back. I'd come in like a whirlwind, unable to resist her, needing to show her how much she meant to me. She looked up from the table, saw me standing there, and gave me a smile that made the whole day's worries fade away. Her eyes sparkled, and she moved toward me for a kiss. I met her kiss, letting it linger, a mix of softness, hunger, and invitation. Then, I gently held her at arm's length, just so I could take in the sight of her. The black bra stood out against her fair skin, covering just enough to be teasing. The sight of her, confident and beautiful, made my heart race. I pulled her close, burying my face against her chest, breathing in her scent. Her skin felt warm against my cheek, and I lost myself for a moment in the simple pleasure of being close to her. She smelled like home, like comfort, and I couldn't get enough of it. I scooped her into my arms and knelt, gently lowering her to the floor. Looking down, I watched her breathe, her chest rising and falling. There was a spark in her eyes, a playful look that told me she wanted this as much as I did. I tore off my shirt, watching her smile, her eyes full of mischief. She wanted me, was waiting for me, and I couldn't resist her. I kicked off my shoes, not caring where they landed, just wanting to feel close to her. She watched me with anticipation, and I could see her excitement in her eyes. I reached for her jeans, fumbling with the button, pulling down the zipper, and easing them off her, along with her underwear. The sight of her, so open and vulnerable, made me feel both powerful and tender. I spread her knees gently and positioned myself over her, still taking in the view. I ran my hands over her, and she caught her breath as I held her. Then, our bodies came together, and I felt that familiar sense of belonging, of two people who fit perfectly together. As we moved together, I whispered to her how much she meant to me, letting her know that she was the only one I wanted. She wrapped her arms around me, holding me close, and together we lost ourselves in the moment. Looking down at her, I saw her eyes closed in pleasure, her head thrown back, her lips parted as she savored every second. I slowed down, wanting to make the moment last, enjoying the closeness. She met my every move, just as eager, just as hungry for connection. I watched her face change with every motion, sometimes eyes wide, sometimes a soft sigh escaping. I pressed my chest against hers, feeling the warmth of her skin, her heart racing with mine. Her embrace tightened, and I whispered to her, urging her to take everything I had to give. We held each other, moving in perfect rhythm. I closed my eyes, lost in her scent, in the feeling of being exactly where I belonged. She met my passion with her own, pulling me closer, both of us caught up in something bigger than ourselves. Eventually, she cried out, lost in the moment, her body tensing and then relaxing as she let go completely. We both gave into the intensity, holding on to each other until there was nothing left but the warmth of being together. Even as her body relaxed, I stayed close, wanting to give her everything I could, both of us shaking with the aftershocks of what we'd just shared. I could feel myself reaching that point, barely able to breathe out the words, I'm gonna finish, as Andrea's arms slid away from me, limp by her sides. The feeling was overwhelming, and I repeated the words, my mind filled with the image of my wife, completely spent, trusting and open with me. With a final gasp, I lost myself in the moment, letting go and feeling that release as everything built up inside me spilled over. Oh yes, I groaned, caught up in the rush of it all, the two of us lost in that feeling of closeness and connection. I held her against me, her body still clad in that black bra, and for a long moment, I just held on, savoring every bit of it. That was months ago, too long, honestly. Now, thinking back on it, I felt that old spark again, a stirring I hadn't felt in a while. Absent-mindedly, I found my hand resting on my lap, lost in the memory. But there was still more of Andrea's letter to read, and I forced myself to focus, picking it up again. She continued, he's not what you'd call a handsome man. But he was there at the moment I needed someone. I found myself getting more and more restless during the day. You probably haven't noticed, but sometimes when I'm feeling lonely, I'll grab one of your work shirts, the ones that still smell like you, and slip it on. Just your shirt, nothing else. I bet you never realized how much your scent gets to me. It makes me remember your strength, your warmth, everything that makes you, you. It's kind of funny, but your shirts, still smelling of your sweat and cologne, are all I really have of you when you're gone. At night, at least I get to rest my head on your chest, run my hand over your stomach, and just be close to you, even if you're already asleep. But during the day, it's your shirts I reach for, sometimes just to feel close, other times to comfort myself. Some days it's just my hands, but other times, when I miss you more, I use things I bought for myself, things you probably don't even know I have. I never showed you, maybe because I was worried how you'd react. Maybe if I had, you would have understood just how much I needed you, and things wouldn't have gotten to this point. Oh, sweetheart, how is it possible to feel both sad and relieved all at once? I'm sad about what happened, sad that I betrayed your trust, but there's also this relief, after so long, of feeling close to someone again. I never meant to hurt you, I just wanted to feel whole. I set the letter down for a moment, realizing that I'd been reading it almost like any other piece of mail, just skimming over the words. My wife was telling me she'd been with someone else, and all I felt was a strange sense of distance. Where was the anger? Where was the heartbreak? Maybe I was still in shock, or maybe I just didn't want to face it yet. Still, I kept reading. She wrote, it happened when I least expected it. I was on the floor, wearing your shirt, trying to comfort myself, pretending your hands were on me, your touch right there with me. I was lost in the moment, nearly carried away, when suddenly the doorbell rang. Without thinking, I got up to answer it, still caught up in what I was feeling. It turned out to be one of those rushed delivery guys. He wasn't anything special, balding, middle-aged, with a bit of a belly, standing there in those brown shorts. When I opened the door, he just stared at me. That's when I realized I wasn't exactly put together. One side of your shirt had slipped, and I could tell he saw more than I meant to show. I looked down, and the shirt was obviously wrinkled and, well, damp from before. We both just stood there for a second, caught off guard. Then he finally said, package for Mr. Martin. I just need a signature. That broke the silence, and I asked him to come inside. I couldn't just close the door in his face, and I didn't want the neighbors to see me standing there like that. Why didn't I just fix my shirt or cover up? I don't really know. I think part of me just wanted to be noticed. Maybe I wanted to feel attractive again. He followed me in, and as I bent down to pick up something off the floor, I realized his eyes were still on me. I could tell he was looking, really looking. For some reason, instead of feeling embarrassed, it made me feel seen, like I mattered. I reached up and kissed him. That's all there was to it. Just a kiss, out of nowhere. After that, we barely spoke. I led him to the couch, and things just happened. We both let our guard down, letting our loneliness take over. He undressed me, and I could feel his attention on me, like he hadn't seen someone like me in a long time. There was no romance, just a need for connection, for someone to make me feel alive. I let him take the lead, and in my mind, I tried to picture you. I imagined it was your hands, your presence, but it wasn't the same. He was different, he didn't look like you, didn't move like you. But in that moment, I just wanted to feel desired. I even called your name a few times, but he didn't seem to care. He just kept going, as if he understood what I needed most was to feel wanted, even if only for a little while. In the end, I found release, and for a few brief seconds, I forgot about the world outside. But as soon as it was over, the reality of what I'd done came rushing back. She said, he finished with a shout so loud, I honestly worried the neighbors might have heard. I put my hands over his mouth to quiet him down, muffling those last few shouts. He pressed into me, moving with so much force that I sank deep into the couch cushions. When it was over, I found myself stroking his back as he caught his breath, both of us wrapped up in the aftermath. After a moment, I leaned over and gave him a quick kiss on the cheek before nudging him to roll off of me. Standing up, I could feel the after effects of what we'd done, still lingering on my skin. I reached down, almost out of habit, and just took a second to breathe it all in, the sense of satisfaction, the simple truth that my needs had been met for a moment. He got dressed, but kept glancing back at me the whole time. I felt a strange sense of pride, a fleeting confidence from having been wanted, even if just by this ordinary, everyday guy. I signed for your package on his digital pad and walked him to the door, not bothering to cover up. He looked back a couple times, almost in disbelief, before finally heading back to his truck and driving off with a quick blast of the horn. That's how my afternoon played out, me, making a choice I never thought I would, being with a man whose name I'll probably never even know. I'm sorry, sweetheart, and I wouldn't blame you if you decided you couldn't forgive me for this. I was just desperate for some kind of attention, for someone to remind me I was still wanted. But even now, it's you I wish I'd been with, you I still want. If you don't want me anymore, I understand. Right now, I'm in the bedroom, waiting. If you still want me, if you can find it in your heart to forgive me, I'm here for you. If not, if I've hurt you too much, I'll respect your decision and keep my distance. The choice is yours, love. You can come to me and promise to make sure I never feel lonely again, or you can leave things as they are, and I'll find my own way. It's up to you, whatever you decide. With love, always, your wife, Andrea. I set the letter down and finished off my beer, trying to make sense of it all. My mind was reeling, and I could feel my body responding in ways I didn't quite expect. The thought of Andrea with that delivery guy, someone so different from me, set something off inside me. It was a strange combination of jealousy, desire, and the urge to remind her, and myself, of what we still had. I didn't want to sit around thinking about it anymore. I needed to act. I tore off my clothes, not caring where they landed, and made my way upstairs with a new determination. My heart was pounding, and I knew one thing for sure, starting tonight, my wife wasn't going to feel lonely anymore. Not if I had anything to say about it.